If you're watching this video, it means that you either really love Doner kebab or at least you have a love-hate relationship with Doner like this guy. And now I would finally love to tackle a somewhat bold idea. I would like to bring Berlin-style Doner kebab into the kitchen so we can all recreate something at least close to the real deal from scratch, no matter where we are in the world. Let the games begin. First, let me mention that this video is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform if you want to build an awesome online presence for your business or passion project. In fact, that is exactly what I'm going to do in a little bit, because today we are deconstructing a Berlin-style Doner kebab so we can then reverse engineer it piece by piece. And for that, we're going to need a fresh specimen, and I am on my way to get that right now. I'm going to focus on Berlin-style Doner kebab in this series. The original, of course, is from Turkey, and it was brought in by Turkish migrants who came to Germany. And unsurprisingly, of course, the dish evolved here quite a bit. Here's what you need to know. First of all, there's a classic variety of Berlin Döner, which is the one most people will have in mind. Now, there's also a rolled Döner called Dürüm Döner, but it is the same on the inside. And then there's the Gemüse Kebab, which is like a second wave, more new variety of Döner, and it's a bit more refined. Now, which one of these is the best? That's a trick question. There are way too many opinions on who actually makes the best Doner kebab in Berlin or in Germany for that matter. By the way, let me know yours in the comments below. But I figured if we manage to solidly recreate like a good old average but satisfying Doner kebab, that would be a pretty great place to start, and we could work our way up from there. Today I'm gonna go to a Döner shop right down the street from my studio. Classic appearance, typical price point, pretty popular in the neighborhood. In other words, it's perfectly average. Hallo. Ein Döner hätte ich gerne. Check this out. This is what I got. I would call this a textbook Döner, except for one little detail. I asked them to skip the sauce this time because I have a plan. Watch. Okay, the results are in, so are you ready to face the Doner kebab truth? A thorough examination of our specimen shows that, of course, a main component of our Döner is the meat. It is sliced very thinly, with some pieces as long as 7 centimeters and some only 2. Everything in between is possible too. Then we got the iconic triangular bread, which is of course the vehicle for all of our ingredients. You can see it has dimples and it is generously covered in white sesame seeds, but also black sesame and black onion seeds. The toasty grill marks are another defining characteristic. Then we have team veggies, the healthy part, with red cabbage, raw onions, lettuce, a bit of cucumber and tomato, and some trace amounts of corn and parsley. So far so good. And now let's crunch the numbers. I actually did weigh out all of our ingredients, so all we gotta do now is insert the data into a spreadsheet, and I gotta say, I'm a bit surprised. Almost half of the mass of our Döner is meat, okay, then roughly a third is bread, and only a quarter is team veggies. I think this is a very good starting point. I feel pretty confident now to just, give it a shot and make my very first homemade Döner. But first I want to make all those scientific findings from this episode accessible to you, which is where this episode's sponsor, Squarespace, comes in. I want to set up a website that will become like the ultimate guide on how to make Berlin-style Döner at home, and Squarespace makes that incredibly easy for me. All I gotta do is choose from their modern and super slick templates, add in all those nice pictures and charts I just made, and you know what? I can even be sure that it's gonna look great on any mobile device as well. Oh, and since this will be a learning process, the cool thing is that I can just set up a mailing list so I can keep you guys up to date. So if you feel like you want to share something like your favorite recipe or food with the world, why not start a completely free trial on squarespace.com, and once you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Andong to save 10% off your very first purchase. And now let's try some homemade Döner. Now let me be clear, this is not my definitive Döner recipe or anything. I just wanted to see how far I could actually get without doing any kind of extra research. Here you can see all of the ingredients that I prepped for my very first Döner, except for one. Let me begin with a little bit of a story time. I made a quick dough to make Döner bread. I had a pretty good feeling about it, flour, yeast, salt, sugar, milk. I thought that was a good idea. And I had a really good feeling about it, put it in the oven, and then Then I forgot about it. I think I'm literally the world's dumbest YouTuber for burning my bread while making a recipe that includes bread. Anyway, this is a first shot. You gotta learn from your mistakes. This is still edible, so I'm gonna use it. In fact, why don't we look inside? Whoa, it's puffy. Look, we got ourselves a natural pocket. This is definitely edible. I'm gonna go with this. I gotta admit, it's a lot smaller than a regular Döner bread though. Gotta work on that. I think this side is not too burnt. Why not? It's a bit smaller. Pocket-sized Döner, mini Döner, baby Döner, kids Döner. Smells pretty good. Now let's assemble this and I'll talk you through the ingredients. So this is the sauce, one of the 3 mother sauces of Döner cuisine, at least my very first take on it. This is the Kräutersoße, which is like the herbal sauce. I have no idea how good this is. I literally just took full fat yogurt, that's 10% fat, and I dumped this into it. Just very simple, dried, pre-packaged French herbs. And so I'm gonna smear a little bit of that into my Döner, just a bit on both sides. I think this should be enough. You don't wanna overload your Döner. Press it together, just so, to evenly spread that sauce. Now let's add the meat, and this one's gonna be very controversial. Look, what I just did is I took lamb and beef mince. I basically just made like a giant smash burger with these, but that meat was marinated in this spice mix. Döner Gewürz, which you can buy for just like a euro at your local Turkish supermarket. I have no idea if this is gonna come close taste-wise, but I gotta tell you something. I mean, this surely doesn't look like Döner meat, but it definitely smells like Döner meat. So maybe we're onto something here. And now I'm just gonna chop it up. Well, this is definitely nothing like Döner meat, but we gotta start somewhere. Okay, in you go. And now we have team veggies. There is, of course, the onion. Whoop. Next up is finely shredded lettuce. Okay, good amount. Oh, sorry, forgot to be civilized right there. This is starting to look like a Döner. Then we have this red cabbage, which I am definitely not sure about. This is just the stuff you can get from a jar in Germany, and like by the smell, I can already tell this is very far off. Smells like German Christmas, doesn't smell like Döner at all. And then of course we're finishing everything with just a little bit of cucumber and a little bit of tomato. Look, look, look. Taco stand. Ooh, this is professional. Every person who calls themselves a Döner aficionado knows that there's the obligatory pinch of salt on top. One final thing. If this doesn't make it real, I don't know what does. Come to daddy. Aww. You're so cute. Actually, I mean, look. I know it's not very big, but I'm pretty sure this could perform pretty well. First bite of my very first homemade Berlin-style Döner. Gonna need another bite. Very interesting. This is actually better than I thought, and closer to the real Döner than I thought. But let me just say, it can still only get better from here. This bread, aside from being slightly burnt, is actually way too cakey and too sweet. It needs to be lighter and chewier at the same time. This is gonna be a tricky one. And speaking of tricky things, well, this meat, the spice mix is actually surprisingly good. I think we're definitely onto something with that one. But in terms of texture, this is a burger, or this is kefta or something, but this is not Doner kebab meat. To get those really thin slices, I don't even know where to start. So let's get to the sauce. This one is too yogurty. It's too thick. It needs to be thinner, but it also needs to be richer. So I think yogurt might not be the way to go. We might have to try something. We might have to get out the big guns. I'm talking mayo. And then talking about team veggies, I mean, unsurprisingly, the lettuce, the onions, the veggies and the tomatoes, I think that already works. No, ooh, but this red cabbage, no. This is, no. But I'm sure that won't be the hardest thing to fix. Anyhow, this is edible. This already does taste pretty good. Not 100% like Berlin style Doner kebab yet, but that is what we will be exploring in this little series of mine. In the coming weeks, I will be trying to perfect every single aspect of making Berlin style Doner at home. So do make sure you're subscribed, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.